What inspired you to do this? Like, why did you want to tackle this problem? Did you have kids of your own? Like, what were the issues you were seeing?
Well, I'm very passionate about teaching. I'm very passionate about mathematics and problem solving. But also my children, when I came to Australia 2005, my children were in year 7, year 4, and kindergarten. And I was culturally shocked by the education system in Australia.
And sorry, where did you come from?
Israel.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so in Israel we had parents are involved. So students go to the school, they come back with textbooks. You know exactly which units they are doing. You know exactly what homework they have. You see the textbooks. They have homework every day. Not too much, but enough to make it relevant to still work on what they taught at school. So I felt, even though I was a teacher at high school, but my children were in primary school back in Israel, I felt involved. I knew everything. We could meet the teachers when we needed to meet them. There were reports that tells you percentages. When I came to Australia, it was a completely different story. Of course, my kids loved it because it was very relaxed.
Because they got off into doing no homework.
No exams, minimal homework. But also, I felt isolated. I felt, what's going on? I don't have textbooks. My children come back home with no textbooks. What did you do at school? Oh, we did this, we did that. They couldn't even explain what they did. Very minimal homework. If lucky, we could get one sheet for the whole week for them to do. My oldest child was in year 7, but what he learned here in year 7, he already learned it back home in year 5 or 4 even. So it was like 2 years behind in terms of mathematics and science. So they used to have their primary teachers. From year 2, they're a specialized teacher. So you have a different teacher for mathematics, a different teacher for languages.
This is such a good point because
here
I've spoken about this. I think it's so dangerous in primary school in Australia, and I'm sure other countries have this, where you have one teacher. If you have one teacher for a year, for example, my brother had she wasn't a bad teacher, but she was a very bad teacher for him specifically in year 5. And that really messed him up. Like for years, it took him years to recover from that. Exactly. He became a really bad student. He misbehaved. He carried those on, and obviously he's improved now. But like having one teacher is quite dangerous, I think.
It is. And if you're lucky, you get a good teacher, and there are many of them, by the way. But if you're unlucky and you get a teacher who you don't connect with, and that teacher maybe doesn't like mathematics, because there are teachers who do not like mathematics, so they teach more English. There are teachers who prefer to teach English, so they teach more English and ignore the mathematics. It happens all the time. So if you are unlucky and you get that type of teacher, your whole year, as you said, is gone.
It's a long time.
It is. While if they are specialized teachers, different subjects, if one is not that competent, let's say, then you still benefit from the others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be that they're a bad teacher. It could just be you don't
connect.
You don't connect.
No,
so for example,
chemistry.
My brother example, I don't think she was a bad teacher. A lot of the other kids loved her, just not for him.
Exactly.
And so if she had only been one of 5 teachers, it would have been nowhere near as bad. But because it was just one for an entire year, it's a long time.
So let me give you another example that makes sense now. Sometimes we do a diagnostic assessment in the learning centers. Parents seek our service to do diagnostic assessment. So it shows weaknesses, strengths, and diagnose why these weaknesses are happening. So most of the time I go, for example, to a parent and say, look, year 2 concepts in mathematics are not learned by your child. What happened in year 2? And so many times I get the answer, oh my God, that year he did not connect with that teacher and it was a waste of time for the whole year. So I get that all the time from parents. So teachers make a difference. Yes, definitely.